Hi, I'm Gianluca Fiorelli, and this is SEO in 2025 Additional Insights.
Gianluca, what's your additional insight for SEO in 2025?
It may sound a long shot in this exact moment of SEO history, but I really recommend you to start studying, investigating what this agentic search really is. What is agentic search? It is something that just the last few months, big guys like Google, like OpenAI, like Microsoft, and others entity in the AI search space are promoting and pushing. And it's going further the classic use of AI that we already experienced with AI Overview, with SearchGPT, is really about connecting AI platform with website through API in order to allow user to conduct conversational search and then action directly with the website through this platform, AI platform. Let's give you a couple examples. Let's say that we want to buy a flight ticket for going to the next Brighton SEO. And we start a conversational search with SearchGPT or with Gemini, and we ask to it, please find me the best flight offers for, London Gatwick for this date. And what Gemini or SearchGPT will do would be to visit all the website that they have in their index, let's call it so, and through API and consult them and retrieving the flight offers to show to us. Then we have a second step still in the AI platform, and we see, okay, please reserve for me the flight on the Ryanair website with this offer. What the agent will do is going to the Ryanair website and do the process for you. Obviously, this is a very, very, very superficial and simple example. The things are going to become more complex. But just think about, for e-commerce, for things like this, for subscription, for informational things, how the impact is going to be. Because in this sense, we are not going as user to a website, but everything is generated by AI on its platform. A second example is related to a new application of Gemini by Google that was announced in December, which is called Deep Research, which is a really great example. Deep Research is an agent substantially based on Gemini that allow us to ask it something like, okay, I need to do a search, an investigation, prepare a paper about the Phoenician presence in Spain. What it does, Deep Research, is consulting all the index, understand, first of all, the question, retrieve all from the index all the sources that may be important for us, present them, and tell us these are the sources. And I can create a brief, not a simple synthetic brief, but a long form brief about this topic for you to start creating your work. And what you can do is to approve the sources that is presented to you, asking it to refine the sources or to quit some of them or to add any ones, and then Deep Research prepare the work for you substantially. And then if you are lazy, you can use it directly for your own purpose. But if you are more intelligent, you will use it as a guide for preparing your work. So it's really, Agentic Search is a way to quit all the time spent for searching a reliable source, ideally. because these are going to be offered directly for you from the agent. So it's really making things simpler for the user. So this is the purpose of agentic AI and by definition also for agentic search.
And is this suitable for any type of business, or is there a certain business model that this is more suitable for than others?
I think that Google or OpenAI at all consider this is going to be for any kind of business. Obviously, just let's do another example related to what we could call a small local business. Agentic search is substantially making life easier for things like, okay, I want to go to Pakistani restaurant on this day at this hour. Tell me which are the best review restaurants in this area. Reserve for me for 2 persons in the one you consider the best one. Or present me the restaurant, and then after you have presented the restaurant, I can decide, okay, this is the one I want to reserve. So everything is done like this. So this is a practical example that is also good, how this agentic search can be good also for small local business. So it's not really just about a specific niche or specific size of business. It's really something that is going to shape how search is going to be. Not now, maybe not in the next 6 months, but surely in the incoming future. So my suggestion is please start studying it, absorbs all the information, because if you are still thinking in SEO as just a classic search environment, we're already seeing how is somehow, I don't want to use this word, but maybe using a strong word is a good idea, is somehow agonizing for a few years now. We are really in the middle of a passage from a way to do search and another way.
But it sounds like you're almost competing with search engines here. So how do you know where to draw the line with your business model, what you're trying to do to attract visitors to your website, and you're not trying to compete too much with search engines that are trying to do the same thing?
I understand your question, but I think it's starting from an incorrect perspective. A business owner doesn't care really about traffic. Traffic is a byproduct, because the more the traffic, the bigger the percentage of potential conversion can be. Now, what really matters to him is the potential conversion. So if the conversion are coming from an agentic search, classic search, it doesn't matter. If you really work for agentic search in a correct way, at least as I'm understanding it right now, which is many things are the same things we are already doing. We don't must think in different revolutionary things. And the fact that maybe you are receiving less traffic on your own website, this doesn't mean that you are going to have a less conversion, but most of the conversion are coming from the agents guiding the user in their platform to do these kind of things that are converting them as our customers. So it's not really that different in the ultimate reason.
So it sounds like SEOs have to take more of a role in directing the future business model of a website. Is that a reasonable suggestion?
Yes, this is also the real way SEO can still be important in the future, in my opinion. We are going to, exactly what you're saying, we must direct the evolution of the approach to web marketing, organic search marketing in this way. It's just transforming itself. And reassure the clients that these maybe less traffic on the website is not going to be actually so dangerous if you are really optimizing for agentic search, for instance. But as I was saying, many of the things that we are already doing for ranking well on Google search, classic Google search, that we are doing right now, like doing a correct entity search, doing a correct keyword research, creating authoritative, trustable content, both in, let's say, informational content that is able to make our brand stand out from the average and to acquire authority and popularity and trust. These things are going to be the same. The technical side is going to be the same because these agents are, let's say, part of a search environment. The website will still need to have a technical perfection, so let's say, state-of-art perfection, because if not, we know that they are not going to be, let's say, not indexed, because maybe we are not really talking about indexing as we are talking now, but the content will not be parsed. And if it's not parsed, it cannot be proposed by an agent. So many things are going to be the same. We are going to add a few things more, like all this work about creating APIs that can talk with the agent. And this is something that it's, if we think, for instance, to the software as a service niche, this is something that is already considered, usually client to client, and not thinking the search engines as if they were a client, but it's the same thing, substantially. Many of these things that are preview and that we should consider for agentic search are going to be the same. So it's really more a change of perspective than radically change the daily work.
And if an SEO is in regular conversation with business directors about what they're doing, and traditionally what their tasks have been is technical improvements to the website, bringing more traffic into the website, optimizing different pages for organic search, and they suddenly start talking about these newer topics to their managers, what kind of language do they need to use to justify focusing on these new areas, and how do they measure the impact of these new activities?
I started from the last part of your question, so how to measure the impact. This is the weak part, at least right now, because the impact in terms of traffic is not really measurable, or if it's measurable, it's really hard to measure. For instance, Google Analytics 4 presents traffic from SearchGPT, for instance, or from Perplexity or other AI platform, LLM-based and RAG platform, as a referral, not as organic. Search Console is not even giving us the opportunity to understand if some of the organic traffic is coming from AI overview, or people also ask, or from a classes search results. And Bing is telling us something about the traffic generated by Copilot, for instance. But in this moment, it's really complicated to track this. And this can be a problem because we cannot, if we is not trackable, we cannot demonstrate to the client the weight that it is going to have. I think that also the analytic platform, maybe also Search Console, maybe Bing Webmaster, maybe SearchGPT and Perplexity will start having something similar to Google Search Console, because for business reasons. And I think that maybe this year we are going to start seeing improvement in this sense. I want to be positive thinking. In terms to explain to stakeholders, to managers, what I would do is not really going into jargon. This is a good a good practice in any case. Avoid the jargon, because as soon we start using SEO jargon with stakeholders and managers, they disconnect their brain and stop listening to you. I would present the situation. I would really try to use an allegorical and metaphorical example, trying to put the things to something they are closer. For instance, when I was doing the example of a restaurant, of a small business, I would say, okay, what you know is what you are doing with your clients in your shop, in your small plant, when you are directly talking with your clients on the phone or by email. So the agency is essentially one of these clients coming to you and is in charge of something a potential client he wants to do potentially with your website, with your products, with your tables in a restaurant or something like this. So what you have to do is to give all the information as you are giving to your customer when he's in the shop or when he's calling to you on your phone for asking you to reserve a table. It's just a step, different step. So we have to create the technical basis for creating the opportunity of this conversation in the best way. And then all the other things that we are already doing still matters. I mean, as I was saying, creating informational content that is really standing out, giving you authority, popularity, making you a leading voice about a topic, having your website, let's say your PDP product pages with all the information clear so that can be parsed correctly by search engines, as we're already doing for Merchant Center. And it's going to be the same. Merchant Center is a very, very, very prior version of a potential agents, essentially, because it's Merchant Center, it's a layer between you and the customers, and the conversion can be directly in the checkout of your website without even passing through the product page of your website. We can use things that are similar to what it is, for instance, for example, the Agentic Search in its full version, and what we already see that are ultimately similar in their execution, even if they are not really agentic.
If an SEO is struggling for time, what should they stop doing right now so they can spend more time doing what you suggest in 2025?
Okay. I have a pet peeve, which is the keyword research as it is usually done. I don't want to say that keyword research is not important. It's really important. But what I don't really understand is why I have to retrieve millions of keywords for then understanding what are the topics. And from them starting creating a content strategy, for instance. I think this is a really time-consuming, even if we have tools that can help us clustering things, really wonderful tools. I think this is an upside-down methodology. I mean, if I want to do a correct keyword research and spend less time, I will start, okay, this is the topic. What is the ontology related to the topic? So the ontology, let's think like solar system. Solar system is a domain. In this domain solar system, we have the entity Sun, Earth, Moon, Jupiter, and so on. So doing the ontology research, so to really understand what are the topics and topic in this sense, then going down with entity search, and from entity search, starting the more limited but more effective keyword research. So not starting from, let's say you have all the pins, millions of pins in your floor, in your apartment floor, and you have to start selecting one by one the pins to create groups. No, going down from smaller groups and then go to the really important keywords. This doesn't mean that you have to stop chasing long tail or those long tail that really matters. But if you start with an ontology and then going entity and then going keywords, you are substantially going to create content that is most probably going to rank and to be visible for long tail keywords where no tool is able to show you. So this is the things that I would say. Start spending time, wasting time in very long and time-consuming keyword research. Do the other way. It's faster and it's better.
Gianluca Fiorelli is an international and strategic SEO consultant, and you can find him over at iloveseo.net. Gianluca, thanks so much for adding your additional insight to SEO in 2025.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
I've been your host, David Bain, and you've been listening to SEO in 2025 Additional Insights, a Majestic series that complements the original podcast, video series, and book. Find out more at SEOin2025.com.